Well, g'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. This podcast is proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. Ute do Ute. Today on the show, it's the 2-minute warning. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast wherever you listen to them, please do that. Leave us a rating, leave us a review and tell your mates. All right, stuck in. The Hardball Gets AFL show. My name is Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. What's happening?
Nice of you to join us.
Yeah, oh, mate.
I thought you were going to, because we have to wait around now for Mad Monday.
You're late.
For the TV star over
here.
here.
The TV star, and he's got his makeup on and he comes in. And I was expecting a text like, we're done.
Old Shiny Head wants me to be his PA.
I hooked him up because you know at these Botox clinics, if you refer somebody.
Nah, see, you look different today.
It's worn off. I only get the 1 week.
Little temporaries.
Do you reckon his head looks different today?
He looks shiny.
Yeah, but I was really looking
He looks
at it
like he's had
week.
Botox.
Yeah, he does look more like a man of the people this week, but I don't know what it is.
I look older.
Yeah, no, that's it. You look older.
You know, because you still got a bit of the...
Do I have a bit on there?
Bit of the makeup
Gee, it's
on.
a big task to clean this noggin up.
Yeah. Spare a thought for the poor makeup person.
Kate did it.
So Kate, who's not even an actual makeup artist.
No.
She has good luck
I'm just
polishing that
grateful.
turd.
Yeah, I'm grateful the slice that I took off it when shaving it last week has gone away.
Did you use the?
I did use the cream. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
The rash cream.
The
rash cream.
Yeah. And they have very good.
Chlamydia is a bad thing.
I must say, I can't remember the name of the company, but they have very good social targeting because I looked at it once to tell my wife what it was, and I haven't been able to get away from it.
Haven't you?
Every platform, they're there.
So I mentioned,
I've got one, mate. I got it for free.
I mentioned on air I had a severe rash, and then out of the blue, a tube arrived. Then the next day, like 20 tubes arrived.
Wow.
Which is great because workplace is rash free. And they had a quiz night the other night, and that's spreads like wildfire.
I like that. You know how your phone picks up what you're talking about? You say, hey, have you ever been to, let's say...
Not when you're having a kid or something that's an event. Like, I don't need prams going through my algorithm non-stop. I've got a pram.
Yeah, right, gotcha. So if you're talking to him, you say, which pram should we get?
Yeah.
And then for the next 2 weeks...
Yeah, and I've got the pram.
Bombarded.
I don't need any more bugaboo or whatever the bloody hell they are.
But it wears off after a while. Yeah. It changes.
It's not the talking. It realises who you're in the proximity of, and if they've been Googling stuff and you're in their proximity for long enough, you start to pick it up too.
Yeah. See, I like it. It's convenient.
Gee, you wouldn't want to get close to my phone.
All right, well, did you like the orders this week? It went a bit different.
What did you do?
I just went top to bottom, but made sure it was in like everyone had a crack.
And I got the boring teams.
But it's not just about randomising things.
This one's not random. This one's very structured.
Yeah, but Chris did it with
purpose.
Well,
I don't have to look up.
You know what you could have done is like, okay, we'll do it from highest scoring to lowest scoring, or average finals played per player, or
taking a swing
find that stuff. Does he have like a database? Like,
I don't know how he does it. He is a database.
No, I know, but like, where do you start to like?
You have to have that kind of brain.
Yeah,
Nick doesn't.
AFL tables is always a good one.
No, I use AFL tables.
Does everybody know about AFL tables? The public?
Yes.
Can we talk? No, not everybody knows about this.
So AFL, the only place to like properly find statistics
is AFL tables.
AFLtables.com.au, I assume. I just Google AFL tables.
I just see AFL tables.
And it's run by someone who nobody knows who it is.
No one. And every year, you got that fear.
Oh yeah, that one day
gets to pre-round one, and you're like, what if AFL tables doesn't update?
Yeah, no,
because the site. I mean, I love it, but it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed in 20 years.
It was pumping out the same detail on a Commodore 64 back in the 90s.
Yeah. And there's no advertising on it, and there's no mention of who runs it.
It underpins all football media.
I've got a conspiracy theory. Well, it's not a conspiracy theory. I've just got a theory. The AFL runs it.
You reckon?
I reckon the AFL, because there's no way.
I thought if anybody knows... Can you let us know? Just go to the Instagram. Hardball Gets
They run it without telling anyone who run. Like they just want to put it under there.
What if it's just somebody?
Because everybody uses it. Every single journo uses it. It was like covers footy. Every single one.
Maybe 7 years ago, there was a day where it went down.
Yes.
So do you want to know who owns it?
Who? It's a dude.
Herald Sun newspaper.
What?
Who claim ownership of them?
Of AFL tables?
No.
Who owns AFL tables?
Wow.
Did you claim ownership?
Quick Google.
Well, I guess they've claimed ownership. That sounds like a terrorist act.
Surely if the Herald Sun owned it, it would be filled with annoying ads.
Yeah,
you're right. We remove that.
And a subscription service. It'd be behind a paywall. I'd be paying $9.95 a month just to look at it.
Would too.
I'd be angry.
I'd pay it.
Yeah,
and I'd pay it.
The amount of times that you get on
This is what I don't understand. Because if you're listening, owner of AFL Tables, if it is not the Herald Sun,
well, money's to be made.
how much would you pay?
Yeah,
Let me give you a number.
$200 a season.
$10 a month?
Yeah,
I was going to say
unders.
I was going to say $2.95 a week or something.
You pay that
direct, easily, but I mean that's enough to get not only people like you and I and us who would use it for podcasts.
Yeah,
but it'd be cheap enough to get the punter who just likes to muck around with numbers and.
There's money to be made here. Maybe this person's like a billionaire who just doesn't care about money and just wants to have stats.
It's like a reclusive billionaire who just does AFL stats.
If anybody knows who is the owner of AFL, who is the person behind it, there's also every chance that it's just some sort of algorithm that's set up. And the guy who started
it flows from the stats.
Maybe he died 15 years ago and it just automatically updates.
It was the original AI. It's just populating this one AFL table.
Who knows? If someone knows, let us know. We'd love to know.
It's obviously pulled in because it's pulled in on a Monday, right? Because it
Mondays.
It
doesn't update it immediately.
So I wonder. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Well, let's kick it off. So we're going to go top down, and it's going to be everybody gets a turn in a row. This is how I'm structured this week.
So good.
Look at this. Starting with Collingwood. So I go. So that's it. The obvious thing of the weekend it doesn't really matter if you stop Nick Dacos, and can you stop Nick Dacos because they tried really hard and he had 25 touches and it didn't matter at all to the result.
Now I'm not throwing Nick Dacos under the bus with the kick-ins and whatnot, because if you're having 40 touches and having 6 kick-ins,
how many kick-ins on the weekend?
6, I think it was. So you're 20.
But he does that every week, so he's still like.
Oh, I think it's an effective tag. I didn't mind if you keep Nick Dacos to 20. I actually think it worked.
But it didn't work in the context. Like, they still lost by a lot.
No, well, they're 8 points up.
The game was closer.
They were 8 points up at half time, Sydney, and they butchered up. Second quarter was dominant. Yeah. They had so many opportunities going inside 50. The final kick was just too hard. Pressure by Collingwood was exceptional. Like that was. I felt like I was into the game, and I don't support either. But I loved
up and about.
I love that.
Bigger crowd than I was expecting.
70.
Sydney,
massive.
I love that. For example, Luke Parker was crunched in a tackle, and then in comes Pendlebury, and then Mills has smacked him, and there
was a lot of feeling.
It was on. It was good. It was
a great game of footy. And the thing about Collingwood, and you touched on it there, Xavier, is everyone talks about they're clutch. It's the pressure. Yeah, and it wears teams down to the point where by the end of the game they're knackered, and also they just keep running.
And there's pressure in the spread as well. Like everybody, there's no passengers.
No,
that was the first time yesterday I looked at it and go, this would be hard. Like
to play against.
Collingwood have been fantastic for 2 years now, but yesterday was the first time because Sydney is so used to seeing those tough footballs over the peel and not fumbling or whatever or missing a handball. But yesterday I looked at it and go, Jesus, that is. Get it out of my hands, give it to someone else sort of territory. Which
hot potato.
It was hot potato, but it was good fun to watch because at times Sydney got through with passage of play and Collingwood were left with their ass hanging out. But it was a good game. What did you make of the booing? And I don't want to get
out of nowhere. It
was weird, hey?
Yeah. But also, I don't know why it's such a big issue. Like, if people are going to boo, they just were up and about. Who's the one Sydney player we all know? Buddy Franklin. Boo.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah, well, it's not great,
but in my mind, which adult's brain operates to the level where you go, I'm going to sit at the football and boo someone? Just go grab a beer, man. Chill out. Like, what do you need to boo someone for? Buddy, it was the last time Bud played nearly at the MCG, kicked 8, I suppose, against Collingwood.
I'm really torn on the booing thing because I love when crowds are heavily involved in games.
No,
but I just don't like... There has to be a reason.
Why Bud, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Sometimes there's not always a reason. It just catches on.
There needs to be a reason.
There would have been 4 drunk blokes going, oh, boo, every time he gets out. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, how good.
No, I just found it really weird. And I mean,
booing.
The Collingwood fans are adding so much to the game at the moment. Like, on a Sunday afternoon to have 70,000 for an interstate team in town.
That's why I was stunned.
Yeah, it was amazing. I found it weird. I heard Horse say it's a bit.
Oh, who are they playing next week? And it's at Marvel, I think, which puts a cap on. Oh, Brisbane. Collingwood Brisbane is at Marvel, I think.
Okay.
Melbourne.
That's me. Van Rooyen offered 2 weeks, going to the tribunal. They're going to fight it. By the time you listen to this, that may have been fought tomorrow night.
Charlie can't
surely if you listened to it before Tuesday.
Charlie Ballard,
sorry. Charlie Ballard. And we were watching that game, and he'd come off before that.
Yeah, he's a
Cosy
second
Pickett,
hit.
sort of a glancing bloke, a bit of a head injury, got tested for concussion at the halftime mark.
Yeah.
And then he came back on. And it was like, no, he's all clear.
See the player that wasn't allowed to warm up with the team. even though
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
coming back
wasn't allowed to
on.
warm
Yeah.
up, and then he goes out there, and then this happens. Now, clearly Van Rooyen isn't looking at the footy, right? But he's making a play for the footy. And the hit in the moment, you didn't go, oh, geez, he's smashed him there.
I did in the moment. Then on the replay, I said, "Oh no, that's not like it's just more
not
of a
that
glancing-
bad. It's definitely like,
Just wrenches his neck.
yeah,
Did Ballard come out and say he heard a crack?
yeah.
Did
Yeah.
he?
It's definitely reckless.
That's scary stuff.
It's definitely
Definitely
reckless. I don't know if the intent
I
was
think
there to
2
harm.
weeks is about right. I don't
You
think the
reckon?
intent was to harm. No, 5 years ago, bad luck, and thank goodness
Yeah.
the crack isn't serious or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think now a bit of a roundhouse. They are shit scared of concussion.
Yeah. So the thing is, what you're trying to stop from Van Rooyen isn't the intent to harm. It's you got to be better than that.
Just what- yeah,
you
what
got to
you-
turn.
You have to be better than
make an effort to turn around, at
swinging
least
arm.
look at the footy,
Yeah.
and get closer to the ball. Because whether you meant to hurt him or not, you did.
I think that's it. I think literally the tribunal man should just say, brackets, you just had to be better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Especially if you were looking at him, like
Yeah.
you knew where not to hit.
But even there was more of the roundhousey sort of action.
Yeah.
Could have he gone Superman style as opposed to
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Double
Dunno.
fist in front of
Yeah.
his face. Like if you thought the ball was going to land there, just stick your jukes out and try to collect it.
I think it's about right.
It's a duty of care thing, isn't it?
I think so.
So we think the 2 weeks should hold.
I think it will.
Yeah, look, it's right that he gets the same as Cosy Pickett annihilating someone's head, isn't it?
Have they found Bailey Smith has just landed?
Yeah,
he actually
yeah.
they found him last week.
his head went to Footscray. St Kilda.
I've got St Kilda. Hands up, who watched that game last night?
Yeah, no.
So I watched.
Firmly down.
I
wish I
watched the
didn't.
first half outside by the fire. This was an unbelievable setup. Actually, had a fire
There's
going.
a little umbrella over
Yeah,
it?
and it was drizzling. So I had an umbrella over the laptop, and I was sitting next to the fire, getting a light dampening, but the fire was drying me really quickly. And I ended up watching the NRL. I flicked off.
Jeez, you live a good life.
Well, that was mid bloody Barney with them. But
He was outside because he wasn't
He
allowed
wasn't
inside.
going anywhere near the house.
I think that was called the cinema or the doghouse. I don't know. No, but do we nail Ross Lyon for this game style? Was round 8. We're familiar with it from St Kilda, Fremantle, back to St Kilda,
Right.
or do we just say it was just the perfect display of shitness?
So you got to live with the wins and the fact that he keeps you in games, but you got to then live with this.
Yeah.
And this is going to happen a lot.
That
with
can't
Ross.
happen.
But
That
it will.
can't.
But it will. Do you ever I still play basketball, right, on a Thursday night, right? And you know our team's good. And when you're playing a team that you know you should
You're still
beat,
wearing tights?
yeah. And the teams you're playing against, you know you're playing against a shit team.
Yeah.
Like, we should flog these guys.
Yeah.
But you don't, because they drag you down to their level. And then you end up winning by 4 points and you have to scrap the whole night and everyone misses a bunch of shots.
Yeah.
That's Ross Lyon footy. Like,
God, it was
North
bad.
Melbourne turns up and you're like, they'll flog them. Like, I remember I had Tim Membry. I was like, Membry's going to kick 6. No one got anywhere near anything because all it was blokes chipping the ball around, broken play. So his wins are great. His losses are ordinary to watch.
Yeah.
And even some of the wins,
And
they're
you
pretty hard.
find more of those games when the players are figuring him out a bit. That first year at Fremantle, it was like half a season of that. While the players were still getting used to Ross's ways too, because you can make it better than that.
Yeah.
Saints
You
are
didn't get many of those at St Kilda in the phase 1 St Kilda.
Yeah, Saints are $1.20 to make the 8.
And 2 cartons of beer.
Is that?
Well,
yeah,
you,
you
had
gotta
Essendon, you had Essendon, you had
I think
North.
I did not go north. I got to
did.
listen back to this.
Yeah,
We've got
you
the
need to go
audio,
back and audit it.
mate. This is a recorded podcast.
What was I on at the
They
time?
were they were the
got
days when you were back smoking crack.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you got
true.
high.
Yeah.
You
We don't
got
speak about those
Mate,
days.
you gotta hold
super
me to
excited
a while
about
there.
North Melbourne's 2 wins to start the season.
Brisbane. So Brisbane on the weekend was about 2 people, Josh Dunkley and Jack Payne. So Dunkley first, 33 touches, 13 tackles, 11 marks.
A full-blown triple-double.
Yeah, he just did a lot.
Quadruple-double.
Yeah,
What's
quad.
that? I think contested possessions is a big part of it. The Ablet. Ryan Buckland, who used to write a column for us, coined the Ablet. And it had it's when you get 40 touches, 20.
Oh, yeah.
contested,
So,
et cetera,
did you
et
see
cetera.
Gaz playing...
Yeah,
Off the left. That was the
still got
first
it.
minute of the game.
So he's playing with Zach Smith, was it? Was
Yeah.
Zach Smith the coach or something up there?
Oh, he comes from up there. I think
Yeah.
he came from Rockhampton, actually, Zach Smith. He got drafted out of
Yeah.
there. Well, not drafted out of there, but...
They're both into their religion. I
Yeah,
think?
they love...
Yeah, they're very close.
yeah.
They're
True
at
that.
a prayer room in
Yeah.
Gold Coast.
Yep.
Anyway,
off
it
the
was-
left in the pocket on
Yeah.
the run. First
Oh,
minute of
baby.
the
Nice.
game. Just no worries. And then he gave it the usual celeb too.
Did they win? I don't know.
Who knows? Probably pinged a hammy 5 minutes later, but no one will talk about that.
So Dunkley, this is the game where Brisbane got the Dunkley they thought they were getting.
Yep.
More than the Dunkley they thought they were getting, but he was a very good performance.
Well, him at Marvel, he knows that ground very well. He knows how to find the space there. That was when he played his best footy for the Bulldogs, I think.
And Jack Payne down back, who sort of come from nowhere.
That's the
from
missing
Noosa.
piece. That's the piece. It looks like he belongs on the Noosa beach too. He looked good with his rig out.
But he doesn't look like a Noosa. He's very like
Iron Man,
set your watch to.
Iron Man. That's the piece though. Did we all say last week we think Brisbane win the flag? Was that a coincidence?
Yeah,
we all went
I've
there.
been saying it all
year. Yeah, so I think that Harris Andrews is a good player, but I think he's gone down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the missing piece. Can Jack Payne hold up?
Because you got the Hawkins Cameron, you need two. You need two defenders who can stop anyone.
Yeah, and he did the job perfectly.
And he's able to play the intercept game when he's not having a absolutely.
When it comes to deep finals, it's lock down and get it done. Don't worry about the intercepts. So I think that was a big tick.
Yeah. Where are we at? Port Adelaide.
All right, well, 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Mate, Kenny's back, smoking those cigars.
He's going to get that contract extension in.
Extra Coke Zero.
And they'll be Norton 5 at start of next year. And we go,
how could they sign him? They're going to Tassie, to Hobart, to play North Melbourne.
Yeah.
So you'd almost mark that one down.
No, that's a massive markdown.
Yeah,
that's your percentage
so
top up.
6 in a row there. Scotty Lycett, I don't think he's getting back in his team. Since they
I
made
love
that
the mad
change.
dog. He's a bit of a mad dog, Teagle.
Teagle doesn't do a lot, but he does.
Well, he does what he needed
whatever.
to do. Yeah, provides a contest, a bit loose around the ground. Dixon is able to flex a bit when Lycett's out of the team. The mix is working. Little bit. We don't have to talk too much about Dylan Williams, but I liked him. I watched that game really closely.
Decker Williams.
Yeah, Decker. What? You know him?
Call him. Yeah, Deck.
Oh yeah,
you call him Decker Williams.
He's probably a Melbourne grammar boy.
Is he a Melbourne grammar boy?
They called him.
I think so.
You have no idea who this person is.
I could have said anything then.
What numbers you got? 40.
Is it 23?
23.
I couldn't tell you.
I could have made this person up.
Yeah. I didn't notice him at all. I watched the game.
Who the hell is Dylan Williams?
Creator player.
Dylan Williams. Well, he had 24 touches, 8 marks, 438 metres gained, and 87% efficiency.
It's a big man.
I'm just giving a guy a shout out. He's played like 5 games.
No, I like it. Well done. No, he's obviously good. I watched it though.
Decker Williams.
I can't remember Decker doing that. I was watching Rosie for 25 pretty closely, and Parrish 31.
Well, you should have just gone Dillard over 15.
They've had a couple this year. That Ollie Lord who popped up. I've never seen that person or heard about that person
There's
in my life.
some talent there. Our man Zach Butters. I saw an article. I don't know who to credit, and they're probably happy because I think they pinched it from us. They're calling Zach Butters. Oh, he's the barometer for Port Adelaide.
Oh no, we're not running.
We've been saying that for 3 years.
I know that, but I think a lot of people think.
Do you reckon? But we said it first.
It's like us saying that.
We said
Gary Ablett was going to be good, but
didn't we say it first? I reckon we said it first. I reckon we said it first.
We'll lock that down. We might have told.
Rosie Butters 1-2 though, I must say, is an impressive 1-2 now.
It's really good. Yeah, really good.
Geelong.
Geelong just keep being Geelong. Hand up, I thought they were done at the start. Not done, but not a premiership
thought they were cooked. Yep. You're not alone there. A few people wrote them off.
They're not hitting their straps like Mitch Duncan's not having 36. I know Hawkins never do kicking goals or whatever, but Guthrie's been in and out. Guthrie was tagging at one stage after a quiet first half. I think it might have been against Hawks. He might have gone and given Will Day a bit of attention.
Because he cut his hair
Are you still? Are you still confused at all? Like beating Adelaide's no small win down there. I think Adelaide are going to be finals.
Good. Yeah.
So they did that at arm's reach with their second best leading disposal get on the ground was Max Holmes with 22 touches.
Well, I think that's it.
They did it the week before as well. I know. Are we thinking premierships? What am I drinking?
This is the year because they won one last year. Playing, they were the best side last year, right?
Yeah.
We all agree that it was pretty clear. This is the year that really good teams have where they're like, right, we banked it, we got the flag. And this year we're not gonna go crazy trying to win every game. We're going to play really solid footy. We're going to win most games, but we're not going to kill ourselves trying to be unbelievable.
Is this why Max Holmes is leading the disposal count? He's like, you missed out.
So your aim has changed from winning a minor premiership to set yourself up to just go, right, let's get top 4. Let's be good enough to maybe even top 6.
Yeah, and then go.
And then when it hits time to go, we'll go.
Yeah.
Right? And I reckon they're just in that, they're confident. They know they're going to be good when it matters.
And Danger, though, how good's Danger been?
Really good.
16 touches to half time.
That's a big loss.
But he was back in the best 5 players in the competition conversation. danger.
Yes,
some of that move
I
out
agree.
of stoppages,
Yeah.
the legs.
He would have had a lot of Brownlow votes.
Yeah.
Although they
And
lost a few to
he was
start.
polling on the weekend.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So he'll be spot 2 to 3, you'd think.
Well, they're very good, Chris Scott, and you tip your hat, and at times you think he's a bit of a nutty professor. Would it surprise... They did it with him last year.
Yeah.
They did it with Tom Stewart. He could... Say it is just tightness or whatever they...
Rip him off.
It could just be, oh, mate, you just have 3 weeks now.
Yep.
4 weeks if you want it. Like, who knows? Who knows what they could do with him?
True.
They've got the right recipe.
Western Bulldogs. This has been a very sexy year from Marcus Bontempelli.
Oh, he should be into Brownlow favouritism.
I think he should be. I think he's now... Well, if Jeremy Cameron wasn't doing stupid things up forward, they'd be the 1 and 2, right?
So it's Bont, Cameron, Dacos.
Then Clary.
No, Nick Dacos is favourite.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that they're the ones we think are...
Clary's
so
gotta be around there.
So yeah, Dacos is still clear favourite, followed by Bont, Oliver, Dawson. Jeremy Cameron at $13 is not a bad.
Imagine if
little
Dawson
But they
won a
don't.
Brownlow.
Yeah, forwards
Now I'll let you claim Dawson.
Okay.
Butters, I'm not bloody putting my flag in the ground.
Dawson,
But Dawson, we're in.
We get in the speech, I reckon.
Yeah.
If
Well, this
Dawson
is
wins
like-
it, he'll be like, I want to thank the hardball gets 2-minute warning.
Well, I think the
You were there
Adelaide
at
list
the start.
managers will do that because they just recruited all our favourite players.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was. I think if the Freo game was his best game of the year,
Like,
this
can
game
imagine-
is number 2.
Hold on, imagine they got the recruiting meeting this week. Like, boys, there's a new hardball gets out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dylan Williams.
Do you reckon Taranto 7-year contract's big? Wait till Decker Williams for someone later.
The whole thing with Bontempelli this season just sparks the question again: what the hell have they been doing with him for the past few years? The forward split, which has been, at times, there's some games where it's 60-40. It's just stupid. He's the best midfielder in the competition.
He was carrying something, wasn't he? Was it last year? He was carrying injury for most of the year.
Yeah, but I think a lot of them were. Like, why didn't you throw him up there?
Can you remember the comment I made about, I think it might have been on this program, about Dangerfield as playing forward over...
Yeah.
And I was like, he's as a forward. He's
Hold on, this comment you made it 8,000
Yeah,
times. There's never been a hill that you've died on more. Good gun midfielders should never go forward.
But he's in that category.
No, you're right.
He's a Parmigiana in the forward line.
I love how he says it though. Like, you might remember, I might have mentioned this.
Just once or twice.
Every single time.
I
I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I'm a big Isaac Rankin.
But do you not feel like you're losing a part of the game if you turn it on and Bond's sitting on a half-forward flank?
Yeah.
Do you not like...
Yeah, just have him in the guts.
Just
He's
give
the
me
best
that.
midfielder.
And as I'll say,
I feel like LeBron playing off the ball.
Yeah.
Like, just, give him the ball.
Steph Curry did in game... Well, the one they lost.
What do you give to Jordan Poole?
He played off the ball.
Yeah.
And then game 6 before game 7 where he dropped 50.
Give it back.
Oh, guess what? Just give it to the good players.
He's pretty good.
Here we go, Carlton.
Oh, my God.
Okay,
Yeah.
before we get into the negativity, I want to say, you remember, our good friend Josh Gallup makes very funny videos.
Yeah, he's on
Remember the
bro.
one he made about Adam Chera with the fantasy thing, about him not caring who's in his fantasy team? Do you know,
And it
since
came
that
true.
video's dropped, he's averaged 132 in fantasy, and he was previously averaging like 85. You cannot tell me that Adam Chera's fantasy game has not changed.
So I've got him in my draft league.
Something's shifted. Like he's aware of it or something.
Well, they all scoring pretty high.
Yeah, this is like a 50-point jump for no other reason.
Selby at least has been backing him in for 3 years to no avail, and as soon as he said, I'm off him, then he came good.
Mate, it's remarkable. It is actually remarkable. He's 39, 30 and 33. As you said, a lot of them are getting a heap of the ball. One thing I don't reckon they identified, I like Motlop, right? I reckon he's going to be a really good player. He's clever and blah, blah, blah. That's it. In terms of their creative small forwards, they have nothing else. Durden
moves.
He's fine. He's fine. But he's not high end.
They play 22.
Yeah, all the money you've been spending left, right and centre to get certain players, I just don't think that they focused it maybe in the right areas. Like, there's lots of guys you could have got. Like,
do you know what Ted says about Albie all the time? We can't take him anywhere. That's what... So it applies to you, Nick.
What?
You're choking, spluttering, dying over there.
He's
drinking
late to the podcast.
Yeah. Sorry,
It was a bad weekend of sleep. It actually was. Probably worst on record.
The other part of it to me is there's not a lot of players who have gotten better. Now you're coughing.
I'm coughing. Sorry.
Blow the side.
No. I'm in on Carlton. Sorry.
What?
All right. No. They punch down on the battlers and they get punched up by the good
So
teams.
was it you? No, it was Tommy Atkinson who had a stat, and it was like in their last 15 games or something, or 14 games, they've only won 5. And it was like two of them are against North, one's against West Coast.
And when Geelong were
Giants a couple of times.
They beat Geelong this year. So
Yeah, but Geelong
was the one. Geelong was the one.
Yeah, but that was Geelong. That was Geelong's first day of pre-season.
You know what? There's another 50-50 game this week. Who are they playing this week? And I'm not tipping them as the Bulldogs.
Bullies.
I cannot tip Carlton in a 50-50 game for the rest of the year. I don't care how many they win. I'm done.
Essendon.
Essendon, did you get your eyes around the Essendon? That was a good game of footy.
Yes, it was.
I want to compliment Phillips. I think he's had a strong season and been important to being competitive around that midfield.
Yep.
Stringer, Parrish,
Merritt.
Well, Zach Merritt was back in there. Why was he having a shot from 60?
Zachy?
No, the flipper. Flipper.
That's a good
Delusion.
Turned his back on whatever back there could have been.
He's had a moment.
A nude person behind him, and he wouldn't have ever seen it. You know one of those videos you watch, and did you see the cow walk through the screen because you're watching something else?
Yeah.
So the world could have ended. He wouldn't have known. He's kicking a goal.
Let me paint this for you. Andrew Phillips has been in the AFL system for a decade. He's bounced around from club to club.
He looks like at least two other people in the AFL.
Yeah, back up to the backup ruckman.
He would be a good bloke too, I reckon.
He's finally getting he's like, you know what? This is about me. I've done everything in my power. And he's on 1-year contracts every year. I'm taking my moment because if I go back and nail this will be my highlight they show when I
Over the last 3 years, he's kicked 11 goals too.
Let him have it.
11-2.
Let him have it.
Should have gone to barrel.
Take your moment.
That was another one where the commentary...
Come on, Flipper.
The commentary not being at the game could have hurt him because behind the goal, behind the kick, you're like, it's on track.
That looks
and then,
good.
it's about 10 metres short. Sorry.
No, that was interesting. But Essendon, I thought they were in the bin this year.
Yeah.
There's signs of life.
Well, they're a team that you sit there now and go, I'm happy to sit and watch.
Yeah, they're exciting.
I'm happy to watch them.
They've lost a few close ones of late. That's going to burn them.
And Jake Stringer. He just is a watchable player.
The package.
Yeah. Everything about him.
He's in a good patch. Yeah, he has good patches. Patches.
Now he'll sign another
I don't mind
6
watching
year.
the bad patches too.
The bad patches are good.
They're a bit of fun.
Adelaide, so like we touched on earlier, didn't really lose any respect or anything out of that loss. It's very hard. Isn't the Cattery's a weird place?
They're having a lot of them though now, Adelaide.
They're near enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have got it done against the Giants. They should have got it done against... Who rolled a Collingwood? They should have got that done. They shouldn't have got it done against Geelong, but they're getting enough now. Where you go.
So they're out. What are they? 10th now.
They are 10th.
Feels like they're having a better season than that, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's because they should have won those 2 games.
But it's funny. The Cattery, if you win it, if you go down to Geelong and you win. Oh my God!
That doesn't happen.
Premiership favourites. They come. They're destroying everyone.
Ask Port Adelaide about what happened when they went down there and beat Geelong. In 2007.
Oh
yeah. A couple of weeks later, wasn't it?
100-something.
But the one I wanted to throw up, and it's another one of the our man contenders, like your old mate Decker.
Double Decker.
But this guy, Luke Pedlar, I've loved the season he's putting together.
I do like Pedlar.
Just from the middle of nowhere in country South Australia.
Yep.
Built like a brick shit house and just cracks in 2 goals, 21 disposals on the weekend. Hard, like just a weird hard nose. Looks 35.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm Googling his age as we speak.
I think it's his 3rd season on the list.
He looks like if you ran into him, you'd really feel it.
Oh,
He's such a little ball of muscle.
He's 21.
Wow.
No, he's just... Oh, hang on.
Yeah, that's about right.
No, he'd be 21.
He's turning 21 next week, so happy birthday to
There you go. Happy birthday, Pedlar. I just love in the season. I want to give him
one of my good mates, Jordan Smith, he had him in a fantasy in a keeper league for a while. So anytime he wanted to talk about him, he just used the bike emoji because Pedlar is pedaling.
Right.
That's
a bit like the needles for those that have Botox.
Yeah, similar. Far out. Have I been getting inundated?
I tell you, Pedlar had a big year last year.
Who was it this morning, Michelle, on your radio show? She goes, I thought you were getting like pushback from anti-vaxxers, like you were getting needles sent to you.
Let's not dive too
that's
deep.
A different kettle of fish.
So Pedlar last year played 3 games, 3 disposals. And 69%
I think the year before he played 2
sub and then sub.
He was a
didn't get on.
High-ish draft pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember
top
exactly
20.
where.
Well, have a look at that, Zave. See if you can figure out what draft pick he was.
Well, they know what they're doing at Adelaide.
What are we on now?
Sydney.
That's me. Perfect. Oh, my Errol, gee whiz. My goodness. 37 disposals, 32 of them kicks.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
He found space.
Normally, that's remarkable. 13 marks.
Kevin
So he found a lot of space. 13 contested, 7 clearances. Clearly, there was 2 things that Sydney went into that game doing, right? You talked about Dacos earlier. Pick 11. Wow, that's pretty
Who's he pick
high.
11?
Number 11 in the 2020 AFL draft.
That's an expensive bike.
He's from Mount Gambier.
Ah.
On the border of Victoria, I think, Mount Gambier.
Yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Sydney. Yeah, so two things. One, shutting down Dacos, which you could argue it did or didn't work. Yeah. And two, they wanted to possess that footy. So they had 80 more disposals than Collingwood, but they also had 70 more than their own season average. Saying all that, they somehow had 12 less inside 50s. So they had the ball a shitload more.
Kept breaking down.
And yet couldn't quite get it in as many times as Collingwood did. So they had 9 players, 23 disposals or more. A lot of it was just, wasted chip stuff. And our man Errol had a lot of it too. So I don't know. They obviously tried something.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe this is the way to beat Collingwood.
They were that
Didn't
one
work.
touch away from getting through about 6 times.
But that's,
handle,
but that's the pressure.
Yeah, but it was just simple errors like kicking it over the head of the forward in the 50-metre zone.
But so you don't like that footy though, because you always talk about the Carlton and Fremantle.
No, I don't.
So
I don't
Sydney did that,
but they missed it. So Carlton would just stuff it up by hands in that second quarter. If you go through it, and Collingwood were the better team and deserved to win.
Yeah.
But there was an opportunity there probably to get 2 or 3 more goals on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Where they just let themselves down going inside 50.
The difference between, if you look at Carlton and you look at Fremantle and then you look at Sydney, what's the difference between those 3 teams? What does one of them have that the other 2 don't really have right now? Dominant key forwards.
Oh, you're talking about Carlton as the dominant.
Right? Carlton has the 2 big boys. So them you're thinking get it in earlier. I can understand why Sydney and Freo are like, but hold on, we've got to get.
I need a Marty party back. If I'm the Swans. I'm a bigger Marty man.
How
the hamstring? It's been a while.
Should be pretty.
Yeah.
So I reckon Tom Hickey's going to be back this week, just quietly.
Speaking of Fremantle.
Fremantle are trumping Hawthorn, 69 points. There's your dinner for 2. Mate, are we buying stock of Fremantle? They just did what they needed to do.
But that's they haven't done that.
No, and Luke Jackson, 24 disposals, 2 goals, career high on that end.
The key was the way he got his footy. And what we were calling this game was a lot of ground ball stuff.
To you guys for the first quarter.
What did you think?
My mates were late, so I was
Where were you?
enjoying it. I was just up in the stands.
You went to the game?
Yeah, just went to the game.
Oh, nice.
And he put it in and he listened to
I
Triple
did.
M.
I put my AirPods in and fired it up.
What did you think?
It was good.
Okay.
I mean, I know you people. Everyone in that box, I know very well. It just felt like
sitting around with your mates.
I was sitting there with no mates until they came at quarter time.
How are they late to the
digital
footy?
Mates.
They weren't.
Free tickets, so they just rocked up late. One of them was umpire.
They weren't.
They weren't. No, there's no mates.
They were at the Campfield. We won't tell Nick about them.
So just quickly before we do wrap on Freo, Fife. It was a funny thing that was going on. No warm-ups, tracksuits.
Super weird. If you were listening to us, you would have heard us talking about it a lot.
Yeah, I think it was. He popped into the Campfield for a beer.
He didn't do the warm-up at all, really. Had a couple of shots for goal. Kept the track pants on. Kept the runners on.
So Mick Barlow on Mad Monday, a little TV show, said that he will be sub again this week.
Really?
They're very tight too.
And they are tight, surprisingly.
He would.
What does Mick Barlow bring to Fife stable? I can't work that out.
I got a story about that. It's not a great one, but Lake Grace, where Fife is from.
Not a great story. We had a great preamble.
When we, it's not a great story, but we'll have to listen anyway.
This is shit.
When we had him on the books, right? Because he does stuff for 7 over here. So we went down to Lake Grace a couple of times, and I think it was either the first or the second time we've driven down there to do a story, and we've got there and we've met him at the Oval, and he's week off. Barlow is down in Lake Grace with him. Almost like some kind of stable pony.
Mate, they're mates.
Yeah, so, but they're doing run-throughs together. He's staying at the Fife's house. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, no, Mick's
super tight.
Yeah,
there's like 30 people in Lake Grace. And Barlow, who's in there just doing his best work.
Now I'm starting to wonder whether Mick actually said that on air or off air that Fife's going to sub.
Well, it's too late now.
No, he said he thinks he'll be. Yeah.
GWS, so we can't not talk about him. The young fella.
Mate, I'm going through a dispute in the family court.
The young fella.
Wow.
The son of the Army General who's coming for Zave. 38 disposals, 3 goals, 8 clearances.
Pulled him into the game.
Yeah, dragged it. Get on my shoulders, boys.
Wow.
We're going to try and win this.
We all had very high hopes for Thomas.
This is above.
But he's hitting those heights.
So my question.
And more.
So before you question, how good was the Tom Green stand at Canberra?
Yeah.
Free pie and free beer on entry or something.
Is that right?
Tickets sell out instantly.
That's amazing.
So all these guys are the same drafts. If you're sitting here right now.
Oh, how good is this draft?
Take one of these guys for 10 years.
Go.
Right.
Tom Green, Noah Anderson, Will Day, and Caleb Sarong.
No, it's Green. I love all of those guys, but it's Green.
I'm Noah Anderson.
Noah Anderson.
Of that 4. Over your son.
He has a bit more outside.
Can we play some Cats in the Cradle under this?
It's going to be crying. It's the same tough love.
It is. Is that tough love?
Well, wasn't this tough love last week? We said how many goals did you kick, Tom?
And he kicked 3.
Dad,
in the courtroom,
not as good as Noah.
He sat on Mum's side of the audience. No, mate, absolute. But so Will Day, slow motion for Will Day on the weekend early, wasn't it?
There's more in that draft.
Yeah, this is just like the
There's
top
like
10 mids.
Rowell's in there, Pickett's in there,
Did
Jackson's
you see Rowell
in
eating
there,
the grass?
Young's in there.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah.
What's he eating grass for?
It was real, like,
We'll do that in Gold
That's
Coast.
weird.
We'll do it in Gold Coast. I just can't believe you'd take Tom Green over Noah Anderson. And I love
other way around.
Noah. So you take Noah. I'd love Noah Anderson. We're about to find out how much. But over Tom.
Yeah, I feel like I lean Tom.
I have to pick one, mate.
To pick Tom. How is this a thing?
Come to daddy, boy.
Just love him.
I do love
He just
him.
needs love, mate.
He's crying
He
out.
doesn't need you to be...
Oh, mate, I've rowed his boat harder than anyone. Even when the times were shit, I was rowing his boat.
You were the 4 a.m. feeds, you know?
So yeah, you've got Butters as the barometer. Dawson's winning a Brownlow and thanking us.
Yeah.
And Tom Green is going to go with a tattoo of us on Australian night. Jeez, we've nailed it.
Gold Coast.
That is me. And speaking of Noah, in his last 5, averaging 32 disposals, he has been brilliant.
My team of the week comment is, are we sure he hasn't got an identical twin?
Who's playing the first 2 weeks?
He was so bad.
Different human.
So bad.
Different. I meant to deep dive. I just ran out of time I feel... like last year, he did the same thing. Slow start, and we all went
bang.
what's wrong with Noah Anderson?
He went bang after the bye.
and then went whack, and racking him up.
Yeah, I got him in fantasy. He was he was getting close to hundreds before the break, and then after the bye, he went bang.
Yeah, I reckon you're right. And he is just... What do you got, Zay?
So first, what do you got? The first 5 rounds of last year?
Yeah.
23 touches, 25 and 2, 18, 35 and 1, 25, 33, 32.
So his first couple of 2 or 3 rounds, he was quietish.
Yeah.
So the same as this year. So he sort of had 2 or 3
It was
quiet
a different
ones.
level of quiet.
And then
It was
bang.
non-existent.
Didn't get him
17, 25, 21 this year.
Another one to put
Thanks to
on the...
AFL tables.
There you
Yeah,
go.
thank you.
Hey, another shout. And the Herald Sun. One to keep an eye on, just like our man Dylan Decker-Williams.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bailey Humphrey.
Oh, the hump. No, was it you? I said
Donut
yes.
Humphrey.
Yes.
Yeah, I said,
We
like this
like
kid.
him.
He's going to be...
Yeah, needs to shed a little bit of the puppy fat,
Yeah.
but he's a baby. But he's
Not
going
afraid to rip a good,
he's
go
going to
for
be
a kick.
this kid's going to be a star.
We'll close our eyes and it'll be like the Tim Taranto transformation from like year 2 to 3 where he came back with leg sleeves
Tattoos.
and something.
Yeah.
At the moment, he just looks like a good kid.
He does.
He's had a good feed.
You know, and he'd be like, Bailey, do you want another serve of spaghetti? Yes, Mum.
Yeah.
That's 3. That's okay. I really like it.
So
The Gold Coast are watching him at the buffet after their training sessions. With baby.
but the old Humper's getting match payments early, so he's sending his little rookie mate up. Just go grab another plate and I'll slip some cash.
He's going to be a star.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree with that.
An absolute gun. And I think I read somewhere early in the year that they're like, he's in that Petrarca type. Like, I hate when people do that, but he is that. Like, he's the goal-kicking mid-burst player. He's going to be strong. Get him in the gym, get him working, and they got a special one.
Richmond.
I've got the Tigers, and I've spoken about it with a few people, and we've been a little bit harsh. I think David King came out and said Taranto's a top 5 player in the competition this year, which is outrageous to start with.
Yeah.
Corn's coming out and saying he's not the top
150.
one. That's outrageous as well.
Hold on.
Look, him and King were having a bit of back and forth at the time.
What's happening here? Are those two doing this on purpose?
Well, they are. They have got their show on
Correct.
Friday.
I had a feeling that this is like Hutchie's going, guys, I want you to just go polar opposites on everything. I want you to create a ridiculous fight about Jason Horne-Francis.
Yep.
Port Adelaide, North Melbourne. We'll get it all going, and then everyone will listen to your show. We can market the living shit out of it.
But the Horne-Francis thing's been going for a long time. This was just like, so Dimmer rang him on game day, rang Kane. I saw that, rang him and said, I want to discuss the comments around Tim Taranto.
Was it during the game in the box?
I got him before the game,
Wow.
and called him.
On game day?
Yeah.
Before the game?
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So hang on, my point being, are they going, so say Hopper and Taranto both signed 3-year deals.
Yeah.
Not 7-year.
Yeah.
Would we be
Not as much of an issue.
copying the Hopper? They both had 30 and had 10 clearances
I've
each
got
on the
no
weekend.
issue with either of those guys.
That's what I thought. I thought this is what we expected from them.
The only question I have about it is what they gave up in terms of their young draft capital. Is that going to burn them? Because are they just going to be an okay team with two really good players they got from GWS?
Well, I don't know if they're really. I just think they're good players.
Well, Taranto's a really good player. He is. He's in the top. Wherever you put him in the top 5 or the top 150, he's a good player. He's a really good player.
Would he be in Mark Robinson's top 50?
He's going to win their best and fairest by 30 votes at this point. I don't know how they do their voting, but he's going to win that clearly. He's a really good player. Hopper is the next level down. But they gave up a lot in terms of draft capital, and I think that's the only question I have.
Can you imagine what's going on? It's classic one of those interstate clubs moving to Melbourne. All of a sudden, he's like, everyone's talking about me, saying I'm good and shit. No one had ever mentioned me before.
How many people going, who's this 14 out there? This bloke. 7 years, Dad, we gave him.
Where are we? North Melbourne. How is this the same team from the first 2 weeks? They clearly we're going to play finals. No, I had a bit of bounce, had a bit of life. Now it's just nothing.
That's why we were talking, and Ross has dragged North. They were both equally as bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Zerha missed some really easy opportunities to make the scoreboard tick over. But it still was going to be ticking over at a very slow rate.
Yeah, they're just not. There's nothing. LDU those first few weeks was looking like Christian.
Well, he had a heel problem. He missed last week with a heel, and it was a late withdrawal against Hawthorn as well. So he's missed 2 of the last 4.
Or was this the same issue? He was a late withdrawal.
Who knows? But there's something going on.
Josh Simpkins then taking a step. They've all taken half a step back. They're burned out already.
So Cunnington got subbed out with 7 touches. Simpkin had 14 touches.
Yeah.
LDU wasn't the usual UDL star factor. I don't know. It was a really interesting. I tell you, Mackay played well across the back line.
Well, because he wants a contract to get out of there.
Marked an absolute shitload of it. And that's the first time I've thought that, maybe he's worth a penny or two, because I didn't think he was.
Can I just say one thing? Remember last week we sat here and we were like, right, these are the blokes who have got to be playing, and these are the blokes who have got to come out. Now, I reckon we mentioned Drury. He came in.
Yeah.
Flynn Perez, he came in. Bergman, he came in.
The Berg.
We didn't mention
Bergman's brother was good at Port on the weekend.
Yeah, we didn't. So was Bergman. He was okay. So we didn't mention Marnie, but he came in, and LDU was obviously going to come in. Now we wanted Hall out. He went out.
Hall had a big game too the week before.
We thought Howe. Now what are we doing with Howe?
Yeah.
He came out. Turner we mentioned. He came out. So they are kind of doing
to us.
Well,
like the Adelaide list management.
Come on, mate. Just call me if you want some info.
Get me Dylan Williams contract status.
West Coast.
Oh boy, that came around quick. Jai Cully, flattening. I really like Jai Cully. I know. You're not a huge fan, are you?
Not convinced he's going to be a star.
Right. I don't think he's going to be a star either, but I thought he could carve out a really good, solid AFL career.
Solid, yeah. That's right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he played 180 to 200 games and was just a tough third, fourth mid, hard as nails, loves a tackle. He's come in mid-season draft last year, and now he's done this. So he will miss a full season. They've got to do the rehab and all that sort of stuff. I'm flat. I'm flat.
I'm flat as a tack for any kid that does his ACL. But I think why I'm a bit so he wasn't in the top 80 players or 90 players.
Yeah, but there was as soon as they missed that, within 3 months, people were like, geez, how Jai Cully, he should have been.
I get that.
And all year he was like, no, he's the clear number 1 pick in that mid-season draft.
Yes,
so it was a bit
mid-season draft.
It was almost Jai Newcombe areas where it was like, what's going on? This is a mistake.
Yeah, mid-season draft.
Yeah.
But they're very different than the national draft. I don't feel sorry for middle-aged players who get injured. You just suck it up. It's shit. But kids, I've seen Max Bailey have 4 or 5 ACLs and derailed what could have been a really good career. Bo Mustin did 4 ACLs, maybe derailed all
and
entirely.
Was it Mitch Thorpe? Did he do a couple?
Nah.
He just had other random injuries.
Yeah, Bo Dell, I think you might be thinking of.
Yeah, that's right.
Car crashes
that's
and
right.
whatnot.
Yeah.
So am I right in thinking he doesn't actually have the contract yet?
No. So this is the other point I was going to say.
Was it right that they haven't really started
I think
talking
contracts
to him?
got tightened, didn't they, with everyone?
Yeah,
but I thought it was bizarre that McGovern's getting done for 2 years, but you've got a 21-year-old or 19-year-old kicking goals who you think is going to be part of the future.
I mean, Rising Star nomination 2 weeks ago. I would hope that they go to him now and just say, let's get this done.
They will. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out today or tomorrow.
Yeah, we want to give you a couple of. I did check in on it over the weekend, and I was just told, we're just focusing on this rehab injury stuff.
I think who was a St Kilda player last year who did his ACL? He played really well round 1.
Hayes.
And remember he did his ACL, and then the next day it was announced.
Yeah.
2-year
I'd like to see West Coast do that.
Wouldn't be surprised.
And Hawthorn.
Not me.
Bottom.
It's not me.
That's you, Zay.
3 days ago, he's at Optus Stadium posing for photos with Chance Bateman and Sam Mitchell.
Trying to get him to delist Frost so they give Harley Reid number 8.
Old Frosty. That was. I've said it to a few people. It was a privilege that's not lost on the kids or myself to be invited down.
Oh, the kids went along.
Yeah, so it was for the kids as
Did
well.
Ted wear his GWS jersey?
No, but have I told you this? This is actually pretty funny. So they're doing, Fremantle suck was what they were saying because Nana goes for Fremantle, and they're saying Fremantle suck your glasses and like being a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Fremantle suck your water bottle, being like that. Then Albie, my 2-year-old, goes Fremantle suck penis. I was like, wow. Right, we went there to help. Okay, he's just learnt that word. I could not stop laughing. No, but it was very, very lucky, and I will compliment the footy club because we're standing there like sheepdogs. Like, you don't want to get in the way. Every single player came over, introduced themselves to me, had a good chat, and to my kids too. So, Jarm and Impey and those guys, who I'd never had any relationship with, are doing things with the kids. They were all fantastic. So, I will say, shit game on the weekend, but...
Good trip.
I reckon the club's doing some good things.
They bring in ex-players and stuff to a lot of sessions.
Changa and I have been the ones previously, and last year and this year, so man, we love getting down there and so. One thing actually before we do go, Connor Nash...
He didn't want to do it. Now he's done 4 minutes on Hawthorn.
198 centimetres tall.
Is he?
He's massive.
198.
He's massive.
He's so big.
I always think Connor Nash is Irish. Is he Irish?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Imagine getting hit by Connor Nash. This giant Irishman.
All right, now it's time to do the...
Ooh, yeah.
Cowboys.
You're my boy.
All right, why don't you kick us off, Rhino?
Well, change.
Change.
Finally.
About time.
Now, can you just remind me who you had last week?
I had either Josh Tracy or Corbett, either bloke who came in.
That's right.
Okay, no, but who's your main man? Sick, and then you went low. So that would mean that all other players are available.
No, I'm going first.
No, no.
No, you can't do that, man. I'm going through a divorce. You cannot be his dad.
You can get visitation. I'll let you have him every second weekend. You can come around, take him to the movies or something. You can even buy him a frozen
I'm going to have to meet this bloke in a car park because there's fear that I'm going to bash him.
I am putting Thomas Green in the number 1 spot. That hurts. Straight to the top.
That hurts my soul.
Whoa.
Ouch. And I'm going to put Errol in the 2nd spot because he did have 37 touches. I'm just flagging Noah because I really considered Noah this week. But they're my 2. Tommy Green.
You go, mate.
Come to Papa.
Well, then I'll swoop in. I'm going to swoop in and I'm going to take Noah Anderson.
Oh, I like it.
Toby Green, but he was a week out. You can't stick in this with it. So,
sure.
So Anderson goes into that top spot. Rob, can I just say, absolutely Rob's Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't touch on that. It was like 4 or 5 decisions.
Yeah.
The
whistle went away at the end.
It really did. Yeah. Mahavir Chol gets pushed into Carrara.
Yeah.
The other side of Carrara.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to go Noah Anderson in the top spot and Isaac stays in the.
How does Isaac stay in that? Was he that good?
Because he just stays there, mate. Yeah. He's in the backup. Yeah, he's waiting to pounce.
I'm going from the bottom up. So Will Day goes into my man.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. That's better than Josh Corbett.
Yeah.
we got 3 out. That was the question. Who out of those 3? And then Sarong would you take?
Will Day in, and Connor Nash is my backup.
Hold on. Will Day's number 1.
Number 1.
And then Connor Nash.
I was so impressed by his first quarter.
Yeah.
The game froze.
I know. He was amazing.
Yeah.
He's had a really good year.
All right, beautiful. This has been the Hardball Gets AFL show.
All from the same draft, 2019.
I'll step that over. He's going to get a flog him.
Proudly brought to you by the Mazda.
Wait till I teach him to drive. Then he'll be really waiting.
BT50, you do you.
You teach him to drive, son. I'll tell you what, if I'm paying for his car and you're sitting in it.
We'll see you next week.